Those of you who've been with me for a long time may remember this 1930s waffle iron I restored in a video 6 years ago, if you can believe that. And it's come back because it was arcing or shorting or something, and I think that's because this plug is really loose in here. But we'll check that and make sure that the electrics are still isolated from the case. In that video, I didn't shoot any before video because I didn't know I was going to make a video about waffle irons. But I talked about how dirty it was when it arrived. Well, this isn't as bad as it was when I first worked on it, but you can see they've been making waffles on it, and it's pretty greasy. In fact, I'm going to put some gloves on and probably try hitting this with a little oven cleaner and clean it up a little bit so I can actually work on it. I'm not too keen on disassembling it and going inside. I actually can't remember how I took it apart last time either. But it's in pretty good shape. I'm especially happy that the cooking grates are still looking really good. This is what we'd like them to look like, so that's fantastic. One of the things I'm going to do then is we'll swap the end of the cord for a tighter fit here. I will check the continuity between these posts in the case to make sure everything's still isolated, as I said. And I'm going to put a GFCI plug on this thing because I still worry that at some point the electrics will touch the case and someone will touch this and they'll be grounded and it'll kill them. And I made a joke about it in the last video, but it's not that funny. So that's what we're up to. Yeah, this is the actual cord for this, and if I stick it in here, it wobbles around quite a lot. So I have this spare still from the replacement one I bought. So I'll probably, and this one fits tightly, so I'll probably swap this across. I want to keep this cord because I like it better, and then I'll put the GFCI on here. So let's clean it up. So here we are. It is not perfect by any means, certainly not as good a job as I did the first time when I took everything apart, but it is much improved. The time lapse was about 25 minutes, and I probably worked on it another half hour after that. But it's a working waffle iron. It's not it's not worth killing yourself for, particularly. Oh, I got to get in there and wipe a little bit. I'm gonna hit it with some Simichrome polish just for grins, and then we'll work on the electrics. Shiny, and it doesn't look that scratched up in real life. I'm going to turn the beeper on here, get the probes, and first I'm going to touch both of the terminals where the power goes in. It should beep if the coil has continuity to heat, and it's beeping, so that's good. And now I'm going to touch one and touch the metal of the body, and it's insulated. That's good. And we'll touch the other one. Touch the screw. Yeah, I think we're in good shape there. So electrically, as far as I can tell from the outside, things are in good shape. So let's assume it was the power cord that was causing whatever ill-defined symptoms they were having. And now we will turn our attention to fixing this power cord. The wire itself's in good shape. I love the little white stripe on that. That's why I want to use it. So if you listen to this, you hear that rattling around. And if I stick it in on the waffle iron, it's really loose. So I have the other spare one. So I'm going to put this one on here, because this fits tightly. And then this end, which is not not much, I'm going to replace with this bit of Chinesium that just came from Amazon for 15 bucks a few minutes ago, which is a GFCI plug for safety. And we'll only be using 2 of the terminals on this, but that's okay as long as the power going out meets the power coming in. No matter how it happens, everything will work fine. So let's do that. Well, our nice old cord has asbestos in it, so now I'm wearing an N95 mask, and I have a wet towel here. Gonna use and try to keep these fibers out of the air. Okay, that was a little fiddly, but it came out okay. You saw I put shrink wrap on, and then I didn't have enough wire, so I had to cut the shrink wrap off and peel the insulation back a little more, and then redo it. But came out pretty good. That sounds solid, so let's do the other end. Well, unfortunately, I ran out of storage during that time lapse, but here's what the final thing looks like. And so now we will plug it in. This is not going to be on the isolation transformer. And this is in here. It feels good, so I'll turn it on. Hope that nothing blows up. And we have power. And the grates are heating. But we don't have our light. You can see the red light isn't on, so I guess we do have to go in and look around. So let me turn this off. Let it cool a little, and then we'll go in and figure out how to get in. I'll take the bottom off, I think. So it's like 45 minutes later, and this thing is still warm, especially the top where the heat came up. I messed around with trying to unscrew one of these, and of course there's a lot of grease under each of these legs, but these are just screws, so it has to be this. I thought this was the post that holds that makes the thermostat switches, pivots on, but it must be the way in, because it's the only other screw, and in the old video I see I had this off. So let me see if I have a good nut driver for this. Is that going to do it? Oh, that's all there is to it. Okay. Well, that's good, because I can take off the other legs and clean them and put it all back. And I wonder, oh God, Well, here's something to clean. How does the grease just goes everywhere? Boy. Okay, glad we went in, so we'll clean this up. I need to glove up and get to it here. Oh, this is just loose. Maybe that's all it was. I'll test that with the multimeter and clean, and clean this awful thing. Jesus. Ugh. Not a great design, huh? And it turns out this bulb was loose. I just had to screw it in and it's working fine. I've gone through here, wiped this down, cleaned the worst of the crud off of the wires, cleaned this, got all the stuff, took the feet and the feet hardware off and put it in the ultrasonic and cleaned those, then reassembled it. So this is all nice and clean now. And so we should be back together here. If I can get this post to come through there. There we go. And now we're ready to just give it a final checkout and send it on its way. Now, if you can see the light now. So we're all working, and that's getting warm, and that's getting warm. Hi there. As I was getting ready to shoot this final checkout sequence to end this video, I realized that the original plug had this lovely spring strain relief on it, and I wanted to put that on the new plug. So I wound up taking all this apart, and of course the old plug here was put together with rivets, so I had to drill them out. This one was put together with screws and nuts. And then of course I had to take this off to thread this on, so I've taken it all apart and put it all back together. But that does give me a chance to show you what the wiring inside the GFCI looks like. Anyway, now we're going to plug it in and try to run it up to temperature. I'll set the thermostat like halfway medium, and we'll put a GFCI into our GFCI and see what happens here. And we're on, and now we'll just let it run and we'll time lapse this for a little while. And this thermostat just went off, and let's see what we got. The bottom grade is 400 degrees, top grade is 422 degrees. And that's the medium setting. So I think that's pretty good. Thermostat cycling. So I guess that's it. Like, subscribe, we'll see you on the next one. And now here's some happy footage of people making waffles.
There we go.
Yeah, no, you finally came up with David Niven after something.
That was a joke.
Oh, that was a joke. Oh, okay. I thought it was.
Perfecto.